Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation.
Hey, when you're Austin Collie, you're getting. Is this our first shirtless guest on BYU Sports Nation?
This is 10 years of just diet soda and Dumford Donuts right here.
Shout out to Dumford Donuts.
Shout out to Dumford Donuts and Diet Coke.
How much of this was already, in the house versus you had to acquire?
The entire thing. This is my wife's coat. Shout out to Anthropology.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Welcome to the Mojo Dojo Casa studio, bro.
No question, bro.
This is
I never
legit.
thought, when this show started, I never thought we'd have this moment. But here we are, right?
Well, who
Here
did?
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought?
I didn't think we'd have this moment last night. So
Yeah, you played the part, man.
we're here.
You showed up. You're such a gamer.
I'm game time decision.
I love
Bringing
it.
it.
Austin Collie is with us on BYU Sports Nation. Happy Halloween, everyone. You've made my day.
You're Knuff.
You are
Thank you.
Knuff, bro.
Thank you.
And you got the Jordan memo, too.
I did get the Jordan memo. I do like yours a little bit better, though.
And all my shoes are Jordans in here.
And I love how you kept the StockX tag on there so everyone knows that they're authenticated
They're legit.
and real. Love that.
Is that how
And
it
just in
works?
case you want to resell them after.
A student told me, they're like, do not cut that off. And I was like, I'm not supposed to cut it off? They're like, no, don't cut it off. I'm like, okay.
Don't cut it off.
I won't cut the
Had that tag not been on there, I would have said that's
Those are fake?
That's a DH gate purchase right there.
Where'd you get those? Wish?
Yeah.
StockX for the win. All right, Austin, if you can channel your Kenergy here.
Yes.
Okay. We've been discussing what is Knuff for BYU football. So when you examine the BYU football team as a whole, what automatically stands out as, okay, that portion of BYU football is Knuff?
I got to be honest with you. I don't know how serious anybody's going to take me right now. No, I think the defense is continuously getting better, right? Which is awesome to see. I think their game plan seems to continue to develop. They are super lean in the secondary, but they're still creating turnovers, which is awesome, right? Especially as we're getting into heavier Big 12 play, we're going to need turnovers. But yeah, I think the defense has been doing their job. I think they've been given every opportunity to the offense to score. I think last week against Texas, we had every opportunity to be in that game, to actually win that game. I don't think Texas was as good as advertised. And I think that's a large part due to the defense.
The offense certainly needs to carry a little more for BYU to have a chance to win more than, say, one game in the Final Four. Granted, one game would probably be enough, let's be honest. Just get to a bowl game. What do you think they need to do to create enough offense? Because we're not asking them to be world beaters right now. We're asking for them to do enough, and hopefully the defense can create some turnovers because that is the formula.
So I've been saying this forever, right? And I think if you talk to Dennis, you talk to John Beck, you talk to any of us, right? The one thing that we'd like to see a little bit more of is just quick game concepts, allowing Keaton to kind of get into a rhythm, right? There is something to be said about building confidence, finding ways for Keaton to have confidence. And now more than ever, Keaton needs as much confidence as he can get, right?
Yes.
And so creating a little bit more of a deeper quick game package, but then also telling Keaton, Keaton, trust your eyes, man, right? What you see, take it, right? And trust the fact that, hey, listen, there might be a turnover or two, but the last thing we need is for you to hold on to the ball. I think the ball needs to come out of Keaton's hand a little bit quicker. But I said this last week, man. I think you can't point at one thing in this offense and say that is the problem, right? Or that's the reason why we're not having any production on the field. I think there are a variety of different areas that need to improve. And
riddle me this. How long is the leash on Slovis this week if there are struggles like last week?
Listen, I love Keaton. I think he's a great quarterback, right? I think if you say, again, you can't point to Keaton and say, Keaton is the problem. Keaton is not just the problem, right? I think there's a lot of things that go on behind closed doors in an offense, things that we don't pick up or don't see because maybe we don't know the exact concept, but I can guarantee you there's a handful of errors that are being made. As a matter of fact, I do know that, at least at the wide receiver position, right? You get new guys in, and that's kind of I'd probably say that the other side of the fence. One side of the fence is you get new players, you get new talent, right? You get a mix-up in the roster. get explosiveness, but then on the other side, it's, well, they have to learn a new playbook, right? And they only have a short time to do so. So, have been errors on the offensive side of the ball, and that also hurts a quarterback's trust. If guys aren't where they need to be, that's going to create problems in the offense, going to create problems in the passing game. So you can't just say, okay, Keaton's not excelling or performing to what the expectation is, so he needs to go. It's like I said, it's fundamentally across the board, right? The line needs to block a little bit better. I shouldn't say a little bit, but they need to block better, right?
Yes,
give them a
straight
little,
up.
Give them a little
Straight
bit
up.
more protection, right? Yeah. And again, I think that's assignment sound, and what's been happening on the practice day today.
Austin Collie is on BYU Sports Nation on a Halloween edition. Now, Kalani is with you. He was asked, like, are you considering making a quarterback change after the game? And he said, how about we just protect Keaton a little bit better?
Yeah.
How about we do that?
Yeah.
And then see what happens. And then if Keaton doesn't perform and we're protecting him well, then we can maybe go down that path. But he's riding with Keaton into West Virginia, and it's a night game, Austin. Have you bought fully into this whole BYU plays better at night thing, or are you still hesitant to really go there emotionally?
Listen, I didn't want to, but I'm all in. I'm all in with the night game, right? Which is why I got BYU winning this one, right?
And the next one,
right?
Iowa
night
State,
games.
8-15.
Right.
We'll take one win.
We just need one. We just need one, right? Yeah. We're on to the next one. Thinking about the next game. If we can get this one, that'll be great. But it is it's in our favor, the fact that we're playing tonight.
We take it 2 games at a time here, Austin. So we're going win the next 2 weeks. What is the most winnable game of the next 2 weeks, in your opinion? Is it Iowa State because it's home, or is it West Virginia because they're not as good as Iowa State, but still pretty stinking good? They took it to UCF.
That's a tough one. I would say probably the next one, West Virginia, right? Like hopefully we get like an overcorrection from last week, right? Everybody's a little bit more on their game. We're dialed in. I mean,
a harsh wake-up call.
Exactly. Same thing that happened at TCU, right? And we're playing at night. Iowa State, like I would love to say we're going to win these next 4, right? But Iowa State's what, second in the league right now? Like they're a great football team.
They're tied for first.
In fact, Iowa State, Oklahoma, and Oklahoma State are 3 of the 5 teams all tied for first.
Okay.
With Texas.
So I'm going to go with West Virginia. Only because it's the next one, right? We got to get that one, but I think that's the most winnable game, especially at night.
And it'd be nice just to lock up that bowl game. I think BYU would play a little looser after that. Like, okay, we check that box.
Yeah.
And then, hey, let's go for 7 at home against Iowa State. Let's go. And then Oklahoma, you have nothing to lose.
Right, absolutely. I mean, that Oklahoma State game, too, is going to be a little bit of a battle, right? Oklahoma State's a great football team.
Oklahoma State has one of the, like they are playing some really good football.
Like Gordon II leads the country in rushing.
And they have maybe the best running back in college football right now.
Yeah, he's playing at
Here's one thing that I do love too about kind of the I guess the addition of Aiden Robbins, I think is going to be huge, right? I still think he's trying to find his groove, right? But last week running between the guards and the tackles,
the middle zone work,
right?
Austin.
Like he does provide a little bit more of that downhill force and downhill presence, right? Which is what you need to kind of get a passing game going, right? I think past years we've relied so much on the running game in our action, right, to get the ball out and open up those throwing lanes that I think Aiden's going to bring that for us.
We're watching highlights of L.J. Martin, and Jeremy and I were just talking. Jeremy went holistically. The offense, frankly, it has not been Knuff.
We asked what's been
struggled.
Knuff?
Yeah.
Offense
I love
as a
that.
whole, obviously.
Okay.
Obviously, yeah.
Okay. But there are some individuals that I feel like have exceeded expectations. LJ is one of those.
Yep.
And the other is a receiver in Darius Lassiter.
Yeah.
Is that a fair statement with what Darius has been able to do?
Darius, I was telling some of the guys at the game day this, man, he has a knack for going and making a play, high pointing the football, right? Which not a lot of guys do. There's a lot of good receivers that when they got to go up and make those high point contested catches, it's 50-50. But with him, it almost seems like he gets better in those type of situations, right? And I think last week, the one thing I did say as well that I like to see is let's get our core group of receivers and let's not take them off the field so much, right? I don't like to see so much variety in the passing game of how many guys are catching, because the more guys you're rotating, the more confusion you're inviting to the process, right? And you're not allowing the guys to kind of fall into a rhythm and to get into a rhythm with their quarterback. There is something to be said as a receiver of getting a feel for the DBs as the game goes on, getting a feel for the coverages, because you're not going to see just an array of different coverages throughout the whole game. You're going to probably see 3 or 4, but if you're not out there to see it, right? It's a completely different perspective standing on the sideline rather than being on the field, right? Seeing where those holes open up, where the soft zones are or the soft spots are, and like I said, developing that relationship with the quarterback.
Okay, so maybe minimize the large number of players that are on the field just to help him develop a rhythm.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Help him get in a groove.
We'll finish with this because it's Halloween. Our question of the day: which Halloween candy best describes BYU football this season? Cougars are 5-3. Weird on offense, good on defense, but 5-3.
Oof. Dude, that is Almond Joy.
Okay. Okay.
Almond Joy. I mean, some people like it, right? It's got the chocolate. But then it also has, the
almonds.
It has the almonds and the coconut.
Yeah.
Right. Which isn't really coconut.
Kind of a weird mix.
Kind of a weird mix, right? Abnormal. Not typically what you're gonna see.
Like good but not traditional.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I like that one. That's good.
Okay,
That's good.
Almond Joy is solid on the spot.
Hey, thank you.
Okay.
I hate Almond Joy.
Respect.
Love BYU football. Love what we're
not Almond
doing.
Joy.
Hate Almond Joys.
Well, good luck today venturing everywhere without a shirt. We appreciate you coming in, man.
I'm covering up as soon as we get outside.
More diet soda.
First shirtless guest on BYU Sports Nation.
Yeah.